Marcus, sometimes saying football, did you find that the international break was at a wrong time for you? You felt you had a good performance, a good result married into one against Barbados?
Yeah, I think a lot of people say the same thing. Sometimes they come at a wrong time, but now we've trained really well. The boys had a break, trained with real intensity prior to the break, so they're well rested and come back this week and been very pleased with how we've worked. So it is what it is. You just hope that the international players come back free of injury and in good shape.
Has it given you a chance to take stock of kind of the initial spell back in the Scottish Premiership and what you faced and where you fared just now?
No, I don't think we need an international break to take stock. You're doing that 24/7 anyway. Everyone is at every football club, but I think we've shown in the last few weeks we always talk about here our level of performance. If our level of performance is at consistently high quality, then the results will naturally follow. So Ross County, we had a good level of performance. It was 0-0, but we had X number of chances. So we weren't dispirited by that, and as I say, you saw the results, Queen of the South and then Partick, etc. Aberdeen. We have to keep maintaining a high level of performance, and the way we're training and the unity with the squad is good and strong. So we're looking forward to Friday night. We know it'll be a tough test, but we go there in good shape.
What did you make of Barry and Lee's, lack of involvement for Scotland over the last couple of days?
They're going with the national squads. Barry's 21, Lee's 28. They're going with their international squad, playing for the country. So they're involved in the squad. I think they're all big squads, but the fact they're involved is all credit to them. It's an honour and a privilege for them. And as I say, I think the right decision was made. If someone's not going to play, and then it makes sense to come back and train with the club. So I spoke to Lee. He's tired, late return, but they'll be good. They'll be fine for the weekend.
Is it disappointing from your point of view, or can they actually still benefit from even being there and experiencing it?
As I say, it's the honour of representing your country or working with your country, so I've got no problem with that at all. If a player turns around and says to me, I don't want to do that, that's a different matter. But otherwise, you have to support it. It's right that we support the national team. It's right that we support the national staff and do what we can to play a part.
Friday night up in Inverness, that seems, on paper like a kind of difficult place to go, and then the time, the travelling and so on. What do you make of that challenge?
It is what it is. It's a difficult place to go. I'm sure it is 7:45 on a Friday or 3 o'clock on a Saturday. It's a tough place to go. They're a side we have a lot of respect for. We think they're a very good side. They can pose a lot of problems, have a lot of quality. But we're looking forward to it. I haven't been there personally. The players are ready for the game. We've had the break, and the level of training's been very good. So I hope very much we can go there and deliver the performance we're looking for.
This might seem a million miles away for guys like Nico and Philippe Senderos and guys like that. No hesitation at all that they'll be able to adapt and perform.
So I'm not sure in the right way. Their CV is such. They've played a lot of places. A lot of World Cup and European qualifiers and etc. etc. So there's no problem with that at all. It's another 3 points. It's an important game for us. Every game's important. We've got a big travelling support as always. So the responsibility is clear. So we go there, as I say, in good frame of mind, good shape. Hopefully, first time this season, have a full squad to choose from, and hopefully deliver the performance to get the 3 points that we're after.
Where's the balance between taking one game at a time, but also undoubtedly trying to get into the Celtic game with a real confidence boost, whether that be through the result or the performance?
It's got to be one game at a time. Whatever you may think, that's always been our policy, always will be. There's no point worrying about Celtic and getting beaten in Inverness. Our point is to go to Inverness, prepare well for that game, be in great shape going up there, do our research, do our analysis, go into the game fully prepared, get the performance, get the result, and then move on from there. From that, the moment that final whistle goes, then we'll look at Celtic. But until that point, it's only Inverness.
Good news this week with Jordan Rossiter. He looks like he's on his back as well.
Yeah, it's good to welcome him back. He did well. You saw what he can do, Jordan. He's a very wise head and young shoulders. He knows that position very well. He does the simple things very well, which again is a skill in itself. So great to welcome him back. He's had 3 or 4 days of training. I think this weekend or this Friday is probably too soon for him, but another weekend of training the next week, and he'll be available for the Celtic game for sure.
Has that been a frustration for you? You don't having the early start stage of the season because you're with England. You've not had access to him all the way through this season. You see his quality so far. It does look like somebody who can make a difference for you.
It's part and parcel of football. I'm sure every manager, every coach is frustrated at losing players. We haven't had Jason Holt available for 4 or 5 weeks. We've had Josh Windass available. Matt Crooks is now coming back. So, but that's part and parcel. And every club's in the same boat. And you hope very much that over the course of the season it evens itself out.
Josh Windass, how's he coming along?
Fitting well. He's fitting well, available for selection. Matt Crooks came through 90 with the under-20 the other night. Delighted for him. Matt Gilt's got 90 in to keep him sharp. So pleased with that as well. So the squad's taking shape, and as you say, it's the first time all season we've had the larger number to choose from. So that's a nice problem to have.
Mark, you've spoken in the past about potential benefits perhaps of young Scottish players perhaps seeking loan moves down in England. After the disappointing weekend that the national team have had, what do you think is the next step for Scottish football to kind of reach that level, that next level?
I think you've got to look at a far bigger issue, a far deeper issues is what I think you have to look at. I think you've got to offer a quality of challenge to a young player that they're not currently being faced with. That's what we have to do. I look at the national team, I read the pages today, I see a very, very experienced manager, I see a very experienced coach. His credentials are there for all to see. So it's not about changing managers or anything else, it's about looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is there's a lot of young talent in Scotland, we have to give them the chance to be the best they can be. And the young players down south get that opportunity. They have the tournaments, they have the games, the prestige games that matter. They're put into uncomfortable situations time after time to prepare them for that transition to be a first team performer. I don't think the young Scottish players are being given the same opportunity. I don't think they are, and a lot of it comes down to money, as it always does in football. It comes down to finance and the cost involved with giving them those opportunities. But we've got to look at a bigger picture. Don't tell me there's no good young talent coming through Scotland. I'm not having that at all. But we have to help them make the transition. And as the quality of a first team goes higher, and we can access players from down south, and the challenge for the young academy players becomes even greater. How do they get into our team? If a young left back gets our team, he has to be better than Lee Wallace, and then better than Lee Hodgson to have a chance of getting in. Or better than Andy Halliday, or Martin Waghorn, or James Tav, or whatever player you want to, or Nico Crancher. That's how they get into our team. Our job is not to discard them, say not good enough. Our job is to give them the chance of being good enough. If they're not, then they'll find their level in football. But we have to give them the chance, and we have to give them an opportunity to be better. And right now, that's not happening.
Again, although he wasn't involved, do you think that Barry Mackay's involvement in the setup is testament to the work you're doing to help that cause?
It's not about myself or about David, it's about Barry Mackay. It's about Barry Mackay responding, Barry Mackay being challenged to be better every day and given the opportunity to show what he can do. We saw with Barry Mackay within half an hour of the very first day, there was no doubt about Barry Mackay. Technically gifted, quick, rapid, strong. He was 20 at the time, all the ability in the world. But he just needs to be given a chance to be the best he can be. And it goes for every single player. And if we can do that, then the problems, look at under-21s, look at 19s, look at 17s, look at the Victory Shield, look at the teams that are doing well. If you're not doing well at those tournaments, you're not qualifying for the championships, then you're not going to make progress at a senior level. And I'm going to look at the English teams, obviously. Look at the England 21s winning by 5 last night, and the French team is doing well, and the German team is doing well. England, I think, beat Germany 8-1 at under-17 a week or so ago. These type of results tell you that there's a strong seam of talent coming through. We have to have the same in Scotland.
You mentioned that the teams in England get the right tournaments, and perhaps that's not how. What is missing? I know you obviously worked with the Next Gen previously, and England now is the under-23 league.
If you look at the UEFA Youth League, for example, okay, so UEFA Youth League took over from the Next Gen tournament. So you have that's great, but it's only open to the youth teams of the Champions League qualifiers. So I would look at someone like Southampton, a magnificent academy, a magnificent club for bringing through young talent, but they haven't qualified for the UEFA Youth League. So Southampton are doing so many things right, obviously with a fantastic record, but how do their young players get exposed to that level of tournament? We need to have them in games where they have to go to Rome and win 1-0, where they have to get a draw at home and get a point to qualify, or they need to win by 2 to get through a qualifying group. We've got to put boys in that situation, that type of challenge, to prepare them. And it cannot be right. It cannot be right that the first time a Scottish centre-half comes up against a Tevez and Aguero type, or Suarez type, is at international level. He should have experienced that at 16, 17, 19, right the way through the system and the various layers. And if we can do that, if we can improve the quality of challenge, then you get a better quality end product. But right now people are saying, it is what it is. We've got to do something about it. Otherwise we sit here in 5 years' time and do the same thing. Is it Gordon's fault? Going back to the question, no, not at all. There you have, as I say, a very experienced, excellent manager doing the job. And it's easy pickings to pick on managers or coaches, but the fact is it's a far bigger issue that's got to be resolved if the Scottish game is going to move forward.
Mark, if you look at the Gordon's starting lineup against Lithuania, there's only one player from the Scottish Premiership, Callum Paterson. Last night there was only 2, Kieran Tierney and Callum again. Is there now a gap between our top flight and international football that's making it harder to bridge?
As I say, team section I'm never going to comment on, far from it, but I understand that, again, the financial disparity, where the money is. You know, where players going to go? They're working men. Don't forget, people talk about footballers as if they're some different breed. They're working men. So if someone offers you 5,000 a week and someone offers you 20,000 a week, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? And that's just that. And everyone in the street shake their heads, and they'd all do exactly the same. Everyone would do exactly the same because they're working men. They've got families, and it can be a short career. So don't look at the footballers as greedy. The footballers are just doing what most working men would do. If you're a brickie on £100 a day and there's an offer of £150 a day around the corner, where are they going to go?
But is there enough of a challenge in the Scottish Premiership to prepare you for international football?
As I say, if the boys have come through the system, if they've come through the system and they've had those type of challenges, and then at 19, 20 years of age, 21 years of age, they're being exposed to SPL, then great. Then they're moving on and get experience in the international arena and the domestic arena. But we've got to challenge the boys. We've got to help them. It's too easy to discard them. There's a lot of talent up here right now not being given a fair opportunity.